Okay, guys. So I'm gonna publish this online, and yeah, I'm gonna publish this online, and it's gonna be on YouTube, and eventually, I might be able to reference it over to my LinkedIn account. Uh, at this present moment, actually had to replace my. I'm gonna have to replace my old cell phone. It's not an old cell phone. It's pretty advanced. The Motorola smartphone that I've had with my current phone servicer, but it broke a couple of days ago, so I'm gonna have to replace it. My protection insurance, actually ran out. I might have only purchased it for a month. That's what I'm starting to believe. But anyway, in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna get a new phone to keep my 407-600-1760 number. It's still an active number. It's still my number. I still pay a monthly. I paid my bill, so it's still mine. I haven't given it up, and it's not going to run out. I have it for another month and a half, no matter what. So, and so in 2 weeks, I'm going to get a replacement phone, and I'll be using my 407-600-1760 number. But currently, I do have an additional phone, and the number. Let me see if the number actually changed here. Documented has changed here also. Yeah. So I did change my number of the new phone I purchased yesterday. It's an additional phone, so I'm going to have two numbers now, and that phone number is 1-321-229-2319. Once again, that's 1-321-229-2319. So I have two phones right now. But yeah, when it comes to the Haitian government, this is what we're going to have to do. Okay, we're going to have to. We're not going to alter the Constitution of Haiti too much, but we're going to have to remove the current administration, and we're just going to pose or stage not a coup. The U.S. military or the Navy SEALs or per se are just going to purport that that the president or the prime minister, or the acting president or the acting prime minister, and the respective administration, cabinet related or not, are removed competently without any assassination in reality or harm in reality from the respective government, so that when we do have the people vote for a new government, Haiti will be allowed into the EAA right away. We're going to have the EAA, the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas, within a year and a half. It's going to be incepted in 2025, next year, actually. So, within a year and a half, next year, 2025, guaranteed. We are approaching a global war. I've described it already. I've detailed it already, what's going to be staged by the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL and the United Nations Security Council. So this is not a threat against anyone per se. I've already detailed what's going to transpire earlier on in a few in video recordings, video reports posted on YouTube for the most part. And so I'm not going to have to expound too much on that particular issue, because it's not annoying. Well, it might be annoying to some. It's certainly offensive to some, the information itself, the reality. But, it's necessary because we do have evacuation orders and this and that. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to allow Haiti to be able to get into the EAA immediately, all right? So we're going to have to remove the current standing government and nothing else. I'm very serious about this, okay? And the Cuban government in 2025 and 2026 is going to have a referendum, and it's going to abolish the communist government, and there's going to be hoopla, no civil unrest, just hoopla over that particular issue. And then Cuba will be allowed into the EEA in 2026 or so, okay? It's going to be the free trade area of the Americas based on the free trade agreement, free trade and economic okay, so it's going to be the free trade and economic area of the Americas, the EAA, based and in accordance with the terms of the free trade and economic agreement of the Americas. And once again, it's going to be per and in accordance with the terms of the free trade and economic agreement of the Americas. Okay, I'm going to have to say this again. I'm gonna have to say this again because folks are saying that he did not say it perfectly or fluently as he has done in the past, and therefore he was not serious when he said it on this within this particular effort. So we're gonna attribute this to our work, and we are gonna decide the terms within this. No, okay, we're gonna have to be very serious because this has to work perfectly. Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. We are gonna ratify and sign, the United States of America and the rest of the hemisphere, for the most part, the Americas, we are going to sign and officially ratify within the OAS General Assembly or within a summit or meeting or conference, official, popular, and broadcasted, the Free Trade and Economic Agreement of the Americas. And it will establish, and mechanize the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas, the EAA. So we're going to have to call the Free Trade and Economic Agreement of the Americas the FTEAA. And we are going to call the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas simply the EAA. Okay? That's the plan. Any sort of deviation from this particular course will be very minimal and inconsequential in effect, in reality. So you guys are not going to have to worry too much, okay? So Cuba is going to be let into the EAA in 2026, and Haiti will be entered into the EAA in 2025, and the Dominican Republic will be able to enter into the CARICOM at the end of this year or early 2025, and thereafter we'll be able to smoothly officialize their sign-in of the as member governments or member economies of the economic area of the Americas, and it's going to be completely attached to the governance of the OAS, the Organization of American States. And yes, over the EAA, essentially, the FTEAA is going to establish the General Assembly of the Americas. So the OAS General Assembly is going to be not necessarily abolished, it's just going to be reformed and evolved immediately upon the signing and official ratification of the FTEA. And it's going to be known as the General Assembly of the Americas, and part of the terms will provide that there needs no sort of confirmation process in the Senate regarding our Congress. Okay, so whatever is passed within the General Assembly of the Americas, and yes, the building, the official Congress itself, or the continent, the hemispheric Congress itself, the General Assembly of the Americas itself, is going to be located in Miami, Florida. We have space in Miami, Florida over the next year and a half, and we're going to build, it's not going to be a coliseum, it's going to be a real legislature, okay? It's not going to be a meager council, it's going to be a high-end legislature, and it's going to have enough seats for at least 35, 36 member states and additional. Okay? So that's what's going on in Miami right now. Everyone in Miami is saying, yes, we have to say yes to that. We just have to accept. That's the only way we're going to do away with nuclear warfare for the remaining 500 years. That's the only way our children are going to, and grandchildren are going to be safe. We have to find a way to abolish it. We're going to protect New York City and managing the world government into the future without any sort of confrontation or conflict or real threat. And and this is what we are going to argue perpetually. We've earned it, us Americans, to have New York serve as the world capital, the capital city of the world government, and the world itself, nominally, into kingdom come, into the end of time, until the end of time. Okay? So that's what's going to happen. We're going to say that New York earned it. All right, so the evacuation orders and this are being perfected right now. The government of New York, and speaking of New York State, has been notified that it has to take it seriously. It has to protect the CIA and INTERPOL in speaking with each and every household in the city of New York, and primarily each and every company, office, and residential space within Lower Manhattan, the epicenter of what's going to happen, as I have detailed. Okay, so everyone is going to be evacuated from Lower Manhattan, preceding the event that I detailed. Okay, about 3 days preceding that particular event, and there are going to be about a few thousand still left a day before that particular event. Government workers, Central Intelligence related, they will feel safe, and they will document that everyone left before that particular event, and there will be stories all over the news thereafter that the CIA did notify that this was